Hey beautiful being, have you been trying to raise your vibration and it's really not working? You're doing all these exercises A, B, C, D and stuff isn't really changing in your life? Well, chances are you're not doing this one thing. And even if you are doing all this other stuff and there are changes still happening, you still need to know this one thing, because this is one thing that nobody ever talks about. It's quite counterintuitive, but it works, and it's a principle that will work now and forever and ever. Amen. This is feeling your negative emotions. Stop. You may be wondering, why on earth should I listen to you? Well, let me tell you. About a few years ago, I was in a highly abusive relationship. And when I mean abusive, I mean I ended up in hospital needing to undergo reconstructive surgery. Now, for someone to be in that space, I must have had a really, really low vibration and also been working with a particular nasty core vibration. Nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. But now, here I am speaking to you on YouTube. I have my own business. I've met beautiful, amazing people. And you know what? I love myself. And I know my worth. And that had to do with a lot of vibrational work. So that's why you need to listen to me. So if this floats your boat, then stick around. Beautiful beings, I'm Terry Nightingale. I'm an energy intuitive and a higher consciousness channel. And on this channel, we awaken you to your true self. And that's your most authentic expression in human form. So here we talk about manifestation, law of attraction, spirituality, higher consciousness, all of that juicy, weird and wonderful stuff. But most importantly, self-exploration. So if this floats your boat, then like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. So in this video, we're going to specifically talk about three things. Firstly, feeling your negative emotions as it relates to unprocessed trauma, any sort of unprocessed emotion, and emotions that are probably old, really old, and still sitting in your body. And then secondly, on the day-to-day feeling of emotions. And then thirdly, what this ultimately does to your base vibration. And this is important to stick around until the end so that you can understand how this is really going to transform you. To be speaking about raising your vibration and emotions, we have to understand the difference between vibration and emotion, and whether they actually are the same thing. So firstly, vibration. What is vibration? Everything vibrates. Everything in the universe, that's every type of energy, vibrates in the universe. So it's in motion. It's oscillating at a particular frequency. And this can be dense or less dense, and higher frequencies and lower frequencies. Remember, there's no right or wrong for either of these states, or good and bad. All right, and then you get emotions. Now, what are emotions? Emotions are either a neurological, physiological, biological reaction to events, circumstances, people, experiences, thoughts. That's what an emotion is. Scientists and researchers can't actually agree exactly what an emotion is, but what's important to understand is that it's quite subjective, number one, and number two, that it is a response to something else. So where do vibration and emotion come together? Every emotion has a vibration too, and some are lower vibrations and some are higher vibrations. And usually your lower vibration emotions are your negative emotions. The emotions we often don't want to experience. And then your higher vibration emotions are the ones that we do want to experience and that we are more comfortable experiencing and expressing. But what's important to remember is that it's not just your emotions that make up your vibration. Everything in the universe is vibration. Emotion is where you start and a good way to understand it, but you're also made up of different things which in itself have a vibration too. For example, this jacket that I'm wearing, it's got a particular vibration. This necklace that I'm wearing, it's got a vibration too. So do these rings. My hair has its own kind of vibration. Get it? So the problem in the law of attraction community and manifestation community, or one that isn't really clear to everyone when people are speaking about this, is that you kind of get this impression that I'm supposed to feel good all the time. And because you're thinking that you should be feeling good all the time, there's this denial of the bad experiences. And then when those bad experiences come up, or those negative emotions come up, we want to resist them. Now, stop. This is not your fault, and it's not your fault either in how you're interpreting the information that you're getting from the law of attraction and manifestation community. Our society has taught us that negative emotions are bad things. And so when we immediately feel something that feels like a negative emotion, we stop ourselves from experiencing it and feeling it because we've been conditioned to believe they're bad. And this is often why when we are watching manifestation material or law of attraction material, in our brains, we are then filtering the information that we're receiving from these people who are talking to us about law of attraction and manifestation, and think that what that means is we're not supposed to feel anything bad, and that if we feel something bad, we're actually going to be lowering our vibration. This couldn't be further from the truth. Let me explain. Imagine the emotion as a butterfly, and when you're experiencing an emotion, and this doesn't matter what kind of emotion it is, a positive or negative emotion, it's a response, and it's an experience that you're having, and this emotion then shows up and it lands on your hand, like a butterfly would on a hand. But now, when it's a positive emotion, we're okay with it. We're open, we're receptive to it, we let it be there, and we allow ourselves to experience it. But when it's a negative emotion, we're like, oh shit, it's bad. And then what do is we resist it. So essentially, the resistance can be seen by like holding ourselves closed from having that experience. We don't want it to be there. You take a look at my hand. Have a look. It's open, it's relaxed. There's less effort in it being this way. Right? Less effort. You can try this too, by the way. There's less effort in it being open than there is being closed. So just feel that when you hold your hand closed, like see what it's doing. Can you see how my hand is starting to tense up? Can you see how it's starting to get more and more tense, and how it's getting more and more painful? Now imagine if I'm holding on like this all the time. Can you imagine the effort this requires in this hand? Much different to just letting it be open. So the important thing to understand is that it requires more effort to hold on to something than to release it, whether it's positive or negative. And secondly, that when you're holding on to something, you can't release it. So if that butterfly is stuck there, this negative emotion is stuck there, that's stuck in your body. It's stuck in you. Think about it. Where do you experience your emotions? You don't experience them all in the same place. They're in different places. And when we don't allow ourselves to feel our negative emotions, they get stuck in different parts in our body. It's often also the reason why people have chronic pain in certain areas and they can't really deal with it, even if they've gone for treatment, because that chronic pain is often a symptom of emotions that haven't been dealt with. But we can talk more about that in another video. Let me know in the comment section if you'd like that. So naturally, the only way to release this butterfly, to release this emotion, is to open ourselves up to the releasing of it, which means to feel it. So if you've had unprocessed trauma of years ago, or emotions that you haven't processed of years ago, because you've been conditioned to not allow yourself to feel your negative emotions, you're sitting like this, holding on to it. And when we talk about vibration, because remember, it's not just emotions that are vibration, everything is. If I'm holding on, this in itself is a vibration. Do this. Feel it. How does this feel? What kind of a vibration is that? And if I'm doing this the whole time while sitting with negative emotions inside of me, what's my core vibration gonna be like? Oh. I think you get what I mean. So essentially, there's a whole bunch of you for which manifestation is harder or law of attraction is harder because you're not allowing yourself to release old emotions. Start releasing them. How do you do this? Feel it without judgment. Just allow the emotion to be. Observe it. It doesn't have to have a label of, oh my word, this is bad because I'm feeling angry. Just sit with your emotions. Be present to them. Now, if there is a particular way that you can do this and make it more effective, let me know in the comment section if you'd like me to do a video on that. So now we understand how unprocessed emotion can get stuck in our bodies and affect our core vibration. So what does this mean on the day to day? Now, anyone who tells you that you're never going to have a bad emotion after you raise your core vibration or raise your vibration or whatever, they're talking absolute BS. That doesn't happen. Part of the human experience is to sometimes have things that are unpleasant and to witness and see things that are unpleasant. Nothing is permanent, even the good stuff. Everything is temporary. So this means that you're not never ever going to get angry again, or not never ever going to feel stress or anxiety ever again. But what this will teach you is that when you do have those energies, those emotions, to be cliched, that energy in motion, experience again, that instead of freaking out and holding on to it, you're going to allow it to be and just let it be the experience that it needs to. So think of raising your vibration as a daily practice. That includes feeling negative things so you can release them as a regular sort of practice, because it's not going to be every day that you're going to feel bad emotions, right? It's like when you get dirty, when you're in the mud, what do? You wash yourself off. So when you have a negative emotion again, what do? Allow yourself to experience it. So how does this ultimately raise your core vibration? By teaching you how to unconditionally love yourself. When you stop having this resistance to feeling bad emotions or even having bad experiences, you start moving more to a space of unconditional love, which doesn't have judgment for a negative emotion or a negative experience. It just sees it as it is. It doesn't need to make a conclusion or draw a label or anything about that. It just sees it as it is and lets it be the temporary experience that it needs to be. And because you start treating yourself like that, your emotional experiences like that, you start practicing this unconditional love consciousness, thus start taking on the unconditional love vibration, and thus changing your core vibration to unconditional love. And that's the most powerful vibrational frequency. That's what the universe is created from. A space of unconditional love. Yeah. So beautiful beings, that's the end of this video. I hope you all liked it and thank you for sticking around. And if you've stuck around till here, say marshmallows are yummy when we toast them. Put that in the comment section. I just want to know how many of you are getting to the final point. Thank you so much for that. And if you haven't yet, remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification button. And I'll see you in the next video. And as always, beautiful beings, as always, I wish you love. Bye, beautiful beings.